How is everybody doing today? I'm only going to be in the kitchen for a moment today. I'm going to actually be in the dining room going over some stuff. But I figured since I was getting ready to throw down some stuff for the fridge, or for snacks for me to put in the fridge. I hope everybody can hear me. Hopefully the sound is coming through okay. So yesterday I made, these are just roast carrots. I loved roast carrots and roasted onions, roasted vegetables in general. Sorry for the swaying. But I cut a bunch of these up yesterday. Hey, Natty. And this is only going to take me 5 minutes. I have the oven set to 400. The bigger parts of the carrots, I will half. They will shrink during cooking. I did not peel these, but they are scrubbed very well. Oh, you gave plasma earlier, cool. Again, the bigger one I'm gonna cut. And then I put these in for about 40-45 minutes. The smaller pieces I leave, so they cook at the same time, same rate. I also have a full onion here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me know if you cannot hear me. And then, kind of a cool thing happened to me the other day. I got a text from my son, and so I'm going to go over that here in a few minutes. And I decided, why not just hop on? And so I think I had about 6 or 7 carrots there, whatever. Cook them for about 40-45 minutes. And then I also love, I love onions anyways. I'm sure you guys already know that. But I really love onions. I like roasted onions. This is a really weird onion. It's flat, very flat. Oh, I wanted to show you guys. Years ago, I worked with a person, and her husband did laser cutting and 3D stuff. Well, everybody knows I like Sasquatch. So he actually took some steel and he made me a Bigfoot bottle opener. So you just put that over the bottle, that over under the cap, and you pop it. So, and then he had it coated with some kind of a gun blue or something. But I always thought that was kind of a cool gift. So let me just peel this onion real quick. And then I'm gonna chop this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna chop it first. Make it easier to give me a section I can peel from. And then I roast my onions right with the carrots. And then what I'll do is I'll chop, chop, chop. Oh, whoop, almost lost it. But my cat-like Oklahoman reflexes saved the day. Did you see that? There we have it. Gonna roast these babies up. In here is some olive oil and my Italian spices, a little salt, a little pepper, a little paprika, a little garlic, and a little turmeric. Get all that in the pool. And then all I have to do is just move this around a little bit. And the reason I like this so much is because in about 20 minutes, as these things start to roast down, the smell just permeates the entire house. And I love it. What's funny is my wife will get home later, and she's not a big onion fan. She'll eat them if they're small enough, but she'll come in the door and she'll go, "Did you cook onions?" And then all I do is I just take my little bit of parchment paper here, and I'm just going to toss them out there. Get it in one kind of layer. And then since these are pretty big chunks, I'm going to set this for 45 minutes. Yes, we have a purple kitchen and we have purple tea towels. Yes, 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 we do. So let's set this in here. Grab my snacky snack. Set that to 45 minutes. We'll take a walk in here. I got quite a few things I want to show everybody. And now in here I can actually see the screen, so. Okay. Let me get this turned up. Boom. All right, Natty. How you doing, Natty? So, I got a few things I wanted to go over today. One of the first things I just wanted to mention really quick is tomorrow I'm going to go live about 5 p.m. I have something I want to talk about growth and stuff for 2026. And I'm hoping we'll get a really good turnout because this could be really helpful for, well, everybody in this community. So I'm hoping we'll get some people in. I'm just going to share a couple thoughts, and I have an idea I want to run by everybody and see if anybody wants to be included in it. And then, then we can kind of talk about it a little bit. So, hi everybody that's there. Now I can see the screen. Natty's here, CL's here, JC's here, Katie Kitchen's here, Michael's Adventures is here. If I miss anybody, I apologize. But anyways, real quick, the other day we did a live. I did not know that. Mine haven't been. Hold on a second. The princess wants to go outside. Come on. It is 70 degrees here today, and our rescue dog likes to be outside. So, the other day I did that thing where I was showing some of the growth. That was my pimento pepper. And very interesting is how much that's grown in just a couple days since I did that live. And then even more interesting is this. So that is one of the orange or red bell peppers. I put that whole thing down in this bucket and it has exploded. Look at the growth on that. It's literally the dimension. It's the outside. It goes all the way. If I stretch these leaves out a little bit, put them out straight, it's the diameter of the bucket. This is the 1 gallon buckets I get for $1. Make great planters. Still waiting for those other ones to germinate. So we have Ryobi. This is not a paid promotion for Ryobi, but we've had Ryobi. Oh, thank you, Natty, for a long time. And so we wanted an inverter. So they have these, instead of having candles or, as I sit here with a candle, you lose power, you have flashlights and lamps and oil lamps and things. And so they now have these inverters. And what it is you can plug your lamp in it here. You can plug your phones in it. It's got the little things there, the plugs. And then it's got a little light on it in the front here. And then all it does is it takes the battery. And what's really cool about it is it's got the lamp on the front. So it's like you can use it as a flashlight or just put it out. These just came off of Amazon. And the thing is, these are knockoffs, okay? So if you use any brand name, I don't care which brand name it is. Like I said, we use Ryobi. That's what we've used for years. So I don't know how they get away with it, but they do pretty much the same color, and it fits the actual Ryobi battery. So this is a small battery. This is one of the 2 amp hours. We have the 4 and the 8 amp hours. This is just a tiny one to keep inside. Hey, Fire Dr. Ninja Turtles here. So these are, the Ryobi ones were only 180 watt. The knockoff ones are 200. The Ryobi ones were $100 for 2 of these. And these were $52 for 2 total. So we decided to give these a try. So what you do is, I have 8 of these batteries. So I have basically 3,000 watts of charged battery power. So if I lose power here at the house, I can keep a lamp plugged in. I can keep, we can charge our phones or whatever, or a computer. So we decided to get 2. That way we have 2. We have for a couple rooms, you don't have to keep moving them. But I just wanted to show those. Those are really, really cool. Excited about that. Monday, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm switching my Tuesday to Monday this week. I have some stuff I have to do with my grandson on Tuesday, so I will not be able to do my regular Tuesday, so I'm gonna switch it to Monday. But what I do have is, I have all of my placards. I still have some to be made. I'm still working on foragings. And I have all these placards. And later on in my wood shop, I'll be making more of these posts. So I just have some spare scrap lumber that I put a point on the end, and then I'll have the placard on it. So each of these placards will be placed in the ground in the garden. And then if any wascally, vampires show up, I can just swing it around, and before you know it, faster you can say, "Bob's your uncle." I can ward off any vampires. I'm just saying, if it happens, it happens, but I'm prepared if it does. So these will set in the ground, and it'll kind of be like when you go to a museum or something, and you can see the placard in front of their stuff. So these will be in the ground Monday, hopefully, if nothing happens, nothing bad happens. These will be in the ground on Monday when we do my garden update. My wife is picking up some fencing for me. They have it ready to be picked up at Home Depot. She's going to be bringing that home tonight. She's not delivering. Well, she is, but yeah, garlic. So my wife's bringing that home tonight, and we're going to, Monday when we do our live, we can then go ahead and wrap the fence with the chicken wire. I have one gate made, which will set in front of the gate where the opening in the trellis is. And then we'll put these in the ground where we'll put the placards in the ground where they're supposed to be. And then at that point, everybody will then, because remember, this was a concept 2 months ago when I started doing the subscriber garden stuff. Now you're actually going to physically see the layout of the garden, because I'll have stakes where the plants are going to be. And then I'm all done with the subscriber garden until I get ready to plant in the spring. But then it'll give everybody a chance. And then I think others can take from my video remixing. I am not sure. I have to study that a little bit. But I'm going to go around and I'm going to film each person's, placard. And then if they want to go back to that video and remix that and cut that out somehow, if you can, feel free to do it. That's why I'm doing it, because I want, hey Bayleaf, I want people to be able to use that stuff on their own channel. It wasn't for my use. I just wanted to grow the stuff and try different things. So that's basically all the things on that. So again, if you just got here, tomorrow night, 5 p.m., I got a couple ideas for YouTube growth, for personal growth on your channel, as well as community growth. So I'm hoping people will join me tomorrow and we can discuss that, because everybody in here has already got a lot of knowledge in the YouTube world now. With all that knowledge, I want to talk about some things with people and see if we can come up. I got a couple ideas, and I want to see if I'm just talking out of school, or is it a good idea? So this is what I really wanted to come on for today. I just wanted to knock that stuff out. My son, I got a surprise text from my son the other day. And he sent me a picture. For Christmas, my daughter-in-law's family had Christmas with them on Sunday, this past Sunday. So he texted me a picture by their tree, and on the ground was about probably 300 or 400 old vinyl records. And I go way back. So I'm a product of the 60s, and I grew up in the 70s, obviously. And so I like 50s music, I like 60s music, I like 70s music. And he said, hey, when you come over, I was going over to watch my grandson that night. He says, I'll hang out for a while, and then before I go to bed, and you can pick through what you want. So before I get into that, years ago when I was a kid, my very first record, I looked it up already. I searched Google and a couple other sites to see. I didn't want to run into any kind of strikes or copyright stuff, but they said as long as you're not playing the music a lot and showing and keeping the picture of the record on the screen for too long, you don't have a problem. And that was from multiple sites. Elvis Presley, Golden Hits, sung by Big Ross. Oh, does he? This was my first record. It was Big Ross and the Memphis Sound. I love Elvis Presley. I grew up on Elvis Presley. My brother and I, when I was 8 and he was 10, we both did odd jobs around town. We mowed lawns. We raked leaves. We picked up sticks. In the winter, we would snow shovel. And so I liked records, so I would buy records. My second record that I'm trying to rebuild my collection. I somehow got lost them years ago, or they got lost somehow. One of my favorite records of Elvis is Come On Everybody. That's another record I bought while I was when I lived in a town called Waterville, New York. Well, then I got some John Denver, and then I've been looking, and you're not going to believe this. I went to we have a couple of stores in town, a couple of antique stores. I used to like Alabama when I was in school, when I was in high school. I had this record. I had this record. I had this record. Alabama was my favorite country band at that time. So, like I said, I am slowly collecting the records that I had a record collection growing up. And somehow, some way, they got lost, stolen. I don't know how I ever lost them. But REO Speedwagon from my high school days. This is gonna, so if you follow, if you know who Grandma Teresa Gilmore is, her sister's Lisa. I think it's her sister Lisa. She's got a music site. Yes, I have a record player, yep. I think vinyl is so much better. Well, anyways, Lisa has this, she's got the most eclectic, biggest amount of records I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like it. And so she does a music thing, and I like to go watch her. She does shorts. She does a lot of shorts. And every once in a while she'll flash up and I'll be like, I had that record, you know. So from my son, I also got Bang Bang Boom, Roy Orbison's greatest hits. Roy Orbison was awesome. And I've forgotten for years the Dave Clark 5. This is their greatest hits. Every song on here is great. The Dave Clark 5. He even had Mac Davis. Do you guys remember Mac Davis? I loved Mac Davis growing up. My dad could not stand Mac Davis. Hated Mac Davis. You're not going to believe this either. Pure Prairie League. And a lot of people don't like him, but I got 2 records of Bobby Vinton. Some good stuff. Jim Stafford. Do you guys remember Jim Stafford? He's been in, he was in the movie Any Which Way You Can with Clint Eastwood. And he did a song called Cow Patty. Look it up sometime. He did a lot of comedy routines in his songs. And then I like guitar players. I like Brian Setzer. I like Eric Clapton. I like Stevie Ray Vaughan. You name them. I like Jimi Hendrix. I love watching guitar players. In my opinion, this is my opinion only, there are a couple of the big guitar players out there that'll tell you the #1 best guitar player of all time, Roy Clark. Roy Clark was on Hee Haw. He did a lot of solo acts. He was kind of a comedian too. But Roy Clark was something. And not far off, Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell passed away. I think he died from complications from Alzheimer's a couple of years ago. And then a group you probably have all heard of, Wake Up. Yes, Lindsey Buck, yep. The Everly Brothers. Wake Up Little Susie, Bird Dog, All I Have to Do Is Dream, Bye Bye Love, all of those. If you know Mac Davis, Baby Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me, good song. This is an obscure one, not a lot of people know about him, but he had some really good music. Oh, did you really? Leon Russell, he's got a couple really good songs. And then, of course, one of my favorites, I love John Denver. I really like John Denver. Such a shame that he passed away. Now, anybody that knows me knows Elvis is my #1 or #2 singer. Back in the day, there was a guy, I had his records. You'll know who I'm talking about as soon as I tell you the song. But he came around the same time. He started knocking hits down. He was getting hit after hit after hit. Yes. Take Me Home, Country Roads, that's right. Golden Hair, yep, Sister Golden Hair by America, that's a very good song. So one of his songs, the guy I'm going to mention right now, is one of the most copied songs that has been used by multiple artists through the years. He died at 21. Him and his fiance he was over doing shows in England. He was there with his manager, his fiance. They got in the car, in a cab, to go to the airport. The car crashed. He was thrown from the car. He held her from falling out of the car, is what the story was. And then he saved her. She ended up hurting herself bad, but they all survived. But then he was thrown clear from the car, and he fractured his skull, and he had major trauma, and he passed. His name was Eddie Cochran. Look him up sometime. Eddie Cochran. He did, the song I'm talking about is Summertime Blues. Summertime Blues has been played and played and played by rock and roll artists, country artists like, what's his name? Alan Jackson did Summertime Blues. The Stray Cats did Summertime Blues. Brian Setzer from the Stray Cats did Summertime Blues. Along that same strain, along came a guy called Carl Perkins. Carl Perkins made one of the most famous songs of all time that Elvis Presley then got the rights to, and he made it huge. Elvis, of course, took the song, which happened a lot with him. People would write songs, and then he'd get the rights to them to sing them, and it was called Blue Suede Shoes. One of the best, a really cool song. That guy's name was Carl Perkins. Carl Perkins, Eddie Cochran, Elvis Presley, and then this guy, Unwrapped. This is Unwrapped. He's one of the best. He did Bebopaloopa, if you remember that song. I'm not going to sing it. I can't sing it. I would hurt myself. And he also did Cut Across Shorty. His name was Gene Vincent. And I have his record. It's still in the wrap from the store. Never been opened. I'm not sure I'm ever going to open it. I love Gene Vincent's songs. He had a great style on the guitar and everything. But anyways, I just wanted to show everybody that because, you know, you just sang it for me. Nice. But let me just move this forward. So that's it. I just wanted to show you guys all of that. That was all free. My son called me and he said, hey, do you want some records? Come pick them out. Of course, he kept some of the ones I wanted. He had, if you guys know who Marty Robbins is, I love Marty Robbins. He did Big Iron. He did El Paso. He did Cool Water. Just a really cool singer, country singer, and my son kept that. But I'm still trying. I'm still trying to get it from him. I'm going to see if I can pry it from his hands and at least borrow it for a while. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? We were just talking about, they said you like old records. I just got a bunch of old records from my son. Everything from Mac Davis to Pure Prairie League to Gene Vincent to Everly Brothers, Marty Robbins. My son's keeping that one, but I'm going to get it from him. That's going to be my goal for 2026, is to secure that record. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do anything wrong, but there's always a chance somebody could walk in and take the Marty Robbins record, because he's got a couple hundred records. And it just might, I don't know, his neighbors, who knows, one of his neighbors might walk in his house and take the record, and it might end up in my house somehow. I can neither confirm nor deny. Oh, did you? That's awesome. Yeah, I love vinyl. I still think, and my son who's listened to all the different, he's listened to cassettes I had, he's listened to CDs, and then he's even got Laserdisc movies. So he's got VHS. He's got a VHS player. All that. He's got movies for all those different types of machines to play, and he likes records the best. Yeah, Everly Brothers are great. I love the Everly Brothers. Um, but yeah. Hey, if you guys don't follow Tuber Chat, check out Tuber Chat. It's a growth channel, and it's a very supportive channel if you're trying to grow your channel. And that said, again, tomorrow, if anybody gets a chance at 5 p.m. tomorrow, I'm just going to do a live about talking about YouTube growth, Homestead growth, kind of mixing and matching analogies and talking about it. I'm going to run something by the audience because there's so many good people in here that are close to or have been monetized. I want to run things by them to see if they think it's a good idea. And if it's a good idea, then I want to try to put it in motion. But it might need help. I might need help from other creators. It won't take up any time, really. It's just an idea I had the other night. And my channel continues to grow, which I'm thankful because it's everybody here that's helped it to grow. I don't have any Buddy Holly. I love Buddy Holly. I just don't have any. I go down once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, to our 2 antique stores in town, and they have lots of records. And the guy brings stuff in every couple of weeks, and he changes it up. So I go in every couple of weeks, and that's how I get my records. The other question I had for people today was, anybody here that does any kind of gardening? Oh, hey, Out with Key. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I can give you, whoops. I can add you as a moderator. Kevin, I'm gonna add you, your Tuber Chat, as a moderator if it's okay. If you don't want me to do that, just tell me and I'll take it away. But that way you can at least, if you see somebody here, you wanna check their channel out, you're more than welcome to. Okay, it's starting to pop right now. I can smell the onions and I can smell the carrots roasting. The house smells delicious in here. So yes, foraging, I was just watching yours earlier. You're live, she was on earlier. And are you planning stages? Are you getting shoots ready wherever you are? Not shoots, sprouts. Are you trying to get sprouts ready? Are you, because you know, Oklahoma, we'll get into some cold weather in January and maybe early February. We'll start warming up. So I can kind of start to set when I'm going to start planting in the hydroponics, my sprouts for next year. Because some of the stuff I'm going to sprout in the hydroponics, like some of the pepper plants, I'm going to sprout them in the hydroponics so they have a good solid chance of, you know, growing good out there. Okay, that's cool. Let me ask, yeah, you got a lot of time to plan, Tiffany. I'm gonna ask this question. We got a lot of gardeners in here. I'm building every year as I get older, because I'm just about 60. Getting up and getting down and crawling around in the dirt is not always gonna be an option when I get to 65, 67, 70. And so each year I'm gonna try to add a couple of raised beds. So I'll build them myself, I'll do videos on them, where I'll put some 4x4s on the ground and I'll build the box. That way I'm up off the ground, and then I'm not worrying about weeding all the time, and I'm gonna still have the same area, because I'm gonna keep adding them, and then it will overtake Okies Eden the way I have it now, per se. Some things will remain in the ground, like potatoes and things. But my question to everybody is grounding versus not grounding. I've been told for many years by certain people, and I don't know if it's right or not. It may be. They say your stuff will grow better if you put a copper wire into the dirt in the raised bed or a bucket, because if it's not physically touching in the ground, it's not grounded. So you take some copper wire and you put it into the dirt in the raised bed, and you just run it down the leg of the raised bed and you stick it in the ground. So I was wondering, has anybody ever done that test? I'm gonna try to do something this year, and I'm gonna make probably 2 raised beds for out here by the subscriber garden. One, I will ground it. Okay. One I will ground with copper wire or a copper rod or something. Okay, it didn't. Hen house says it works. The other one I won't. And then to do like a control scientifically, I'll use the same dirt mixtures, and I'm going to plant the same exact seeds from the same exact source. One grounded, one ungrounded, and it will all be done evenly, and then I can kind of get a feel. And I was just wondering if anybody has. I think Natty said she had. I think I just saw that. As long as it doesn't attract. So that was, yeah, that was my one concern was, is it going to attract lightning? Because if it's going to attract lightning, I'll put it over near my neighbor's house. If it doesn't, I'll just keep it closer to my house. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Okay, and did you think it worked, Natty? So, speaking about lightning strikes and fires and all that kind of stuff, I didn't have to. I was asked if I could go over and help out last night with my grandson so my daughter-in-law could get some sleep. So I went over there about 11 o'clock at night. We're in a burn ban because we haven't had rain in Oklahoma in a couple months. It is just bone dry out here. I mean, I can walk out and grab the grass and break it in half. It's drier than straw. And so we're in a burn ban. So I'm going over to my son's house last night, and so it's pitch black. You know, it's going on 11:15, and I'm in the back country, but there's a few houses down that way from me, and they're in the county we're in a burn ban in. You're not supposed to burn at all, zip. He had a huge bonfire behind his house. And he's only about probably a quarter mile from me. And I'm saying to myself, I hope that doesn't get out of control, because we just went through that this past April when we had that huge fire that almost came to our house over here. And I'm like, this guy can't be for real, because it is super dry out there. I mean, we have it where people throw a cigarette out of their car and it starts a forest fire. So, I mean, anyways. Natty, let me ask you this then. Since you say you used it and you felt it worked, did you ever have lightning strike it or bother it in any way or anything? Because that did come up. That's one of the thoughts in my mind was, is it going to draw electricity? Is it going to draw lightning? Which is fine. I mean, if it's away from the house and stuff, I don't care. But these are going to be probably 15, 20 feet from the house. Okay. No lightning. Cool. Maybe when I do it, I'll just ask my son to have a longer rod that sticks up in the air and he can just run around the yard with it when any times there's a thunderstorm. And then he can strike him and not bother my plants. But we'll see. With everybody here, I don't know if anybody heard this the other day or not. Probably most of you did, but my wife did inform me. That would. That's true. That's true, Katie's kitchen. Oh, Katie, I'm sorry. Here, hold on. I just saw yours is in blue. Let me give you a wrench. Sorry about that. There you go. Boom. My wife said she's willing to come on for a brief moment one day just to introduce. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. She said she will sometime soon. So we'll have her on. It'll only be for a couple of minutes just so you guys can meet her and you can see, you know, what it's like to meet a woman that has spent the best 37 and a half years of her life with me. I mean, Can you just imagine the wonder, the joy of being married to me for 36 years? I am just kidding. But she said she'd come on, and my son is also anxious to, he's gonna pop on at some point. And we're gonna do a couple things, not collaborations on YouTube, we're gonna do garden collaborations next year, where he'll come over here and help me at some point. And then, yeah, that's right. Ain't your husband blessed? That's right. And then I'll go over to his house and we'll work in his garden, because we're gonna do some stuff where he's going to grow things that I'm not gonna grow, because like I said, my main goal is subscriber garden, potatoes, green beans. I'm growing other things, but if I'm not gonna babysit those, if the potatoes and green beans and the subscriber garden is taking up my time, I'll plant the stuff and I'll try to keep up with it. But if I have to give up on something, it's gonna be the ancillary kind of sideline things that I'm not focused on. So that way my son he grows tomatoes really well. He grows really good tomatoes. So he's gonna grow tomatoes. I'll grow a bunch of potatoes and we can swap. I'm gonna grow a bunch of, I did really well with my cucumbers last year. He wants to do pickles. So I'll do a bunch of cucumbers and he can do something else. And then we'll trade. And then of course, I'm gonna have, so far, we think we're gonna have two farmers markets. 2026 should be really, really good foraging. It's gonna take me a while. I'm going back into my older videos, and I have one video where I showed the start. My garden started a 10 by 10 garden, 10 foot by 10 foot here. And then it just grew. Hey, how you doing, Entreaty? To what it is now. And so now it's a very large garden, and now I'm just continuing to make improvements on it. So this year, it's not getting any larger. It's just gonna be about keeping the weeds down, getting maximized yield, and just beautifying the area. And then adding all of my little eclectic things like my Elvis squirrel, placards, road signs, license plates, all that kind of stuff. Hey, Calf's Kitchen, let me give you a blue wrench. And so, yeah, that's coming up. Another reminder is I'm with Coach Juliet this week on, I think, the 8th. I forget the time. She announced it on her channel. Coach Juliet Eden, she announced it on her channel. And then I'm on, I think, with Spongy, the 10th. And I, again, forget the time. I did a community post for both, and it's listed on both their channels. I'm going to their channels. So, hope you guys can tune into those live streams. Spongy hit over 600. I'm not sure where Coach Juliet's at, but I know Spongy hit over 600 subscribers. So that's a big thing for her. She was happy about that. So hopefully we can get some people there, and we can get her some watch hours, and hopefully get her some watch hours, some more subscribers, and a lot more interactions and stuff. And you get to meet her. She's really, Spongy's great. And she'll show you her fish sometimes, and her dogs are always in the act, and her mom's in the corner cooking, doing videos. She does a lot too, Down Home Misty Style. And they're good friends with, I see Shannon's here, us and our bunch. So hopefully you guys can show up to that. I have no idea what's gonna happen with either of them. And then on February 15th, I don't remember the time, but February 15th, I've been invited to go on to, oh, cool. I got more seeds coming in, awesome. Whistle Stop Homestead. I've been invited onto Whistle Stop Homestead for a few minutes. So that is gonna be February 15th, day after Valentine's Day. So if you guys can hopefully put that on your calendars, I'm excited about that. It was funny how it happened. It just happened to show up on their live. I was looking for something to do. I've been working outside. I come in, flip my phone on, and Whistle Stop Homestead's on. So I went in, and there it was. Boom. Oh, foraging. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I just got a super chat. That's cool. Well, I was gonna say something here. I lost my train of thought. I am so tired. I didn't sleep. I was with my grandson last night, and within hopefully the next 2 weeks he gets his casts off. I'm not going to get into the whole thing and his whole situation, but from hips down to his feet, including his feet, just his toes are pointing out. He's in complete casts up to his hip. And then there's a metal bar that goes down by his ankles. And what that does is it keeps his legs in this shape, like an A shape, up to his hips. And I'm not going to get into all the details, but I'm sure it itches and it's uncomfortable, and he can't lay on his side. He can't lay on his stomach. So he's always stuck in that position. And I know by now it's frustrating. And so during the night, you'll run into some issues where he'll have pain, discomfort, and so on and so forth. And so it's been a task. My daughter and son-in-law are champs the way they handle it. My wife and I and other people try to help out as much as we can. I try to split the nights with them so they can get a good night's sleep. Because everybody knows, like you've seen in my lives and I put it in other lives, I don't sleep, I wait. Just like Chuck Norris, we don't sleep, we wait. But hopefully within 2 weeks, I think it's the next week or two, he has his appointment to go up, hopefully have it all cut off so they can do their x-rays. If everything's good, they just put them in, they call them, what do they call them? Soft casting. And that's only gonna be for when he sleeps. So during the day, he can sit in a chair, you know, he can hang out, you can pick him up and carry him around or hold him or whatever. He can sit with you. At that point, I know a lot of the pain, a lot of the discomfort, and anybody that's ever had a cast knows, because he's had it on since Monday before Thanksgiving is when he had the cast put on. So whatever that is, 21st to 21st is like 4 weeks, so 5. It's gonna be on like 6, 7, 8 weeks. So if you've ever had a cast, you know they itch. And then to top it off, because of the situation he's in and his growth, they snipped the Achilles, hamstrings, thigh muscles. And then they regrow during this whole process. So then his legs will be in much less, a lot or no discomfort. And so it was a very extensive surgery. So anyways, long story short, once we get through that over the next couple of weeks, then I can kind of get back to regular stuff where when I plan something, it happens. I can put dates in the calendar better. Right now, if I have one in, sometimes it's there and I move it. Because if I get a call because he's struggling or he's crying or he's in pain, I might go over and spell them. So they can go out to get dinner. My wife and I go over sometimes so they can go out and just kind of breathe, get something to eat, hang out on a date for a while, and then come back and then, help him at night. So, I was never a healthcare worker, but I'll tell you what, God bless healthcare workers. I will tell you. Thank you, Fire Dr. Ninja. Nurses and I don't care if you're a registered nurse or CNA or an LPN or just a home health person. God bless you, because that is not, physically, emotionally, and mentally, it drains you. And if it's your own grandchild or child, it's even worse. It's a beatdown, and it's even worse for him, for the child. But anyways, enough of that. Like I said, he's doing well. So hopefully within 2 weeks, boom, they go back to Oklahoma City, cut that stuff off. And then, like I said, Coach Juliet, Spongy, Whistle Stop Homestead. Wendy from Hard Knack Farm says she wants me to come on again sometime. I'll try to do that. And if anybody wants to come on my channel for collaboration at some point, just email me, okieseden@gmail.com. It will, Natty. I'll tell you what, when we first started, when we went there, it seems like forever ago when we were sitting in the waiting room, the family waiting room, and then they ran into complications and he started tanking, and they had to move him to, what do they call it, PICU. Yes, I live in Oklahoma. I live in southern Oklahoma, down past I-35. If you go down I-35, hold on one second. That's what I'm talking about. Look at those onions. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that or not. And now what's funny is, it's not funny, but what I do is I let them cool off, and I just put them in I put them in a bowl. They go in the fridge. So during the day when I'm outside working, I just come in. If I'm hungry, I just reach in, grab a couple of the carrots or a couple of the onions, pop them in, eat, take a drink, go back out and work. I love vegetables. So anyways, so like I said, another 2 weeks. Hopefully it will, I can then plan more live streams, collaborations. That's why I had to wait a little bit to get back to some people that wanted to do, like Spongy wanted to do one. She gave me some dates, and then I have to go back in and look at my calendar, see where I'm at with my grandson or any other function I have to be at. So I keep a little written calendar over there, and it ended up being the 10th. So I'm excited about that. Spongy and I have done one before. I could have swore we've done 2, maybe not. I'll have to go back and look. So I know, like I said, Spongy's got 600. Boy, there's so many of us in this community that are just like so close to hitting that, to punching their ticket, you know. Okay, North Central Texas. When we first moved down here from upstate New York, we lived in McKinney. You familiar with McKinney? Prosper, Salina, Frisco, Allen, that kind of thing. North Central Texas is nice. Or are you talking like Sherman and Denison? Oh, you can't be intimidated by me. Oh my goodness. No, Dr. Ninja, I'll have you on some night. We'll do it. I'll email me. Is your email in if your email's, I'll check your site later. If your email's in there, email me, or I'll email you. If not, go into mine and email me. Oh, hey, Scully, Scully Pop is in the house. If you didn't know it, Scully, he adopted me, and I'm now Okie Pop on his channel. I got adopted, so nothing I could do about it. I didn't have any say in the matter. Where'd she go? Key. Whereabouts in upstate New York? I was born in, yes, Scott, that's right. If anybody hasn't watched, Scott, if you're ever looking for entertainment, go look his stuff up. And I can't even describe it. I can't do it justice. I'm not even gonna try. But go to his site and just go watch. Just trust me. He'll do a 2 or 3 hour thing, and it is, and Izzy Pop does it too. Okay, so Key, I lived in, I was born in a town near it's called West Steventown, New York, but it was called the Alps, the little portion I was in. But then, I don't know if you know where Albany, Troy, Schenectady, the tri-state, tri-city area. I lived right near that. So, and then at one point we moved, my father got transferred. We went from that area all the way out west, western New York, to a town called Jamestown. It was more outskirts. It was called Falconer, New York, and it was literally about 40, 50 miles, I think, south of Buffalo, New York. And then a few years later, my father got transferred again out to, we went to Waterville, New York, which was near Utica, Syracuse area, kind of central New York, west, kind of just east of central. And then when my dad retired, he said, the company he was with, he said, when I retire, I want to be moved back to the company near where I was born. So the last few years he worked there, we were actually back in our original area. From Fredericksburg. Okay, Fredericksburg. My son and daughter-in-law go down to Fredericksburg every once in a while. Yep, Jamestown. Yep, we lived off of Route 382 or something like that. Good times. Snow. Back then it was fun because we were kids, you know, snow meant school being off because you're near, on the weekends we'd go to, oh, thank you, Scully. Yeah, it happened on Christmas Eve. That's the best part. That's what, I was so hoping it would actually fall on that. And it got so close that I got Christmas Eve morning, I was with my grandson. It was 2 or 3 in the morning. And I got a notification on my, in my Gmail. And it said, congratulations, you've unlocked, you know, your monetization. So I'm like, okay, cool. But then you got to go do this, this, and this. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it now because I'm tired. I'm not going to do it on my phone. Oh, thank you, Fire. So I said, I'll do it on my computer when I get home because I don't want to mess it up here. Hey, Flow Farm. And so I got home about 10 o'clock, did the stuff, the AdSense and registered and terms and conditions and all that. I just gave you a blue wrench. Flow Farm. And it was so funny. And then it came back and it said, okay, AdSense, it's going to take at least 24 hours for them to get back to you to see if the YouTube stuff has accepted you into the monetization program. So I'm like, okay, no worries, big deal. So I'm not monetized yet. You know, that's why I never said anything. And, didn't think much about it. I just said, okay, it's probably tomorrow or sometime the next day, I'll find out. I go back over that night again to watch my grandson overnight. It was a little after 11 p.m. and my phone gave me a little ding and it was my Gmail. And it said, congratulations, you've been accepted into the monetization program by YouTube, blah, blah, blah. You'll be hearing from us, you know. And, it happened sooner than the 24 hours like they said. Hey, pause. And so it actually happened about 11:15. Hey, Teacher Kelly, how you doing? Teacher Kelly's here. So it happened about 11:15. So I beat the midnight going into Christmas. So I was actually, the monetization happened on Christmas Eve. And the reason I wanted it to happen on Christmas Eve, which never thought it would, and I don't understand the chances that it did that, but my mother and father were married on Christmas Eve. And we used to celebrate and open our presents on Christmas Eve. So we didn't have to do it, you know, we didn't have to do a special celebration for my parents and then do a celebration of Christmas in the morning. My mom and dad just said, we're doing everything Christmas Eve, we can get it out of the way. And then it made, because I was like, man, that would be a really cool gift, because my parents are no longer with us. They both passed from, they both had Alzheimer's, and they both passed from complications due to Alzheimer's years ago. Years ago, it was a long time ago. So it just kind of made it really cool that I got monetized that night. So I just thought that was so cool. I mean, what are the chances of that? But anyways, that's the story behind that. So a lot of really good people in here. Flow Farm showed up. Teacher Kelly's here. Delightful Roots Farm. And I've gotten a lot of really cool people lately from the gardening channels and homesteading and cooking channels. It's really cool. M&T Homestead, they're really good. You get a lot of people from them. If you've never been on M&T Homestead, they're a good channel to go to. Like Wendy at Hardknack Farms, go check them out. Have Fun in Nature is here. Have Fun in Nature, we've been following each other for a while. They're in Montana, and they're really moving up the charts. I give them about a month or two, and they're going to surpass me. I thought I got aggressive on YouTube with stuff, but they're really putting it out there. I mean, they're really going to town, which is great because I'm excited for them. And kind of like I was saying the other day, in my opinion, unless you get a viral video that gets you monetized really quick, you're going to end up being like the 99% of us, that you work and you strive and you push and you push and you push. You get frustrated. Oh, well, thank you, Hen House. And, you know, we push and we push, and sometimes it gets frustrating. And what I decided at one point a few months ago was, I looked at it like this. I said, you know, instead of getting frustrated, because like today, for the last 2 or 3 days, I'm at 1,000. I had 1,034 subscribers. There you go. So I had 1,034 for like the last few days. I go to my analytics, and I get the congratulations, you just gained 20 subscribers, blah, blah, blah. I get home this morning from my grandsons, I go to my phone, I go to check my phone, and I'm down to 1,021. I'm like, they took 13 like that. So you can get frustrated at that, because that can be frustrating. But the way I look at it now is, you have to look at it, and I said this the other day, you got to look at it like an unpaid internship. You go to be an attorney. A lot of times you'll get an internship with a company over the summer. You're not paid. You put the time in. You're doing the legwork. You're looking in the books. You're doing all the stuff like a paralegal would do. You're doing all this legwork, working your butt off for nothing. But you got to just stay focused. Yes, the rolling calendar, 300 every, or look at it as a hobby. Right, Teacher Kelly. There's a couple ways to look at it. I look at it as the internship, because I guess that's just how I'm wired. I'm looking for monetization, so to me it would be a job. If you're looking at it as a hobby, there's an old saying, if you love what you do for work, or you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. So there's that. And I enjoy it. I think we all kind of enjoy it in a way. But just understand, you're not going to get paid for a while, even after you're monetized. Even after you're monetized, it's going to be a while. It doesn't just happen like that. You got to hit your threshold for payment. You got to make sure you have all your tax stuff in. You got to get your banking stuff to them. They got to approve it. So you got to do all that stuff, and work with AdSense and do all that. Like right now, I'm waiting on AdSense for my thing in the mail. And I keep getting these emails, hey, you got to put your PIN number in. You got 20 days to put your PIN number in. And we sent it in the mail. I'm like, well, I haven't gotten anything yet. My mailbox is empty. I'm sorry. I can't force the mail to show up in my mailbox. Wow. Yeah. See? And Teacher Kelly knows, because I remember when she announced she was monetized and how it went. And yeah, that's what I figured. And the thing is, they sent the pin. They even told me they sent the pin on 12/30. Well, there was no mail on the 31st. You send it on the 30th, and then they immediately sent an email saying you got to go to AdSense and put your pin number in. I'm like, when? You got to get it first. And I understand they have to do that for safety reasons, so it goes to your, because they double check your address as one of your secondary things there. But that's how I looked at it. And you know, there's an old saying in the military and in like academies, police academies. There was always a saying. My dad said it. We said it when I was in the academy. They call it embracing the suck. When you do something wrong and you're told, drop, give me 50. You drop and give them 50, or you're going to have to end up giving them 100 because you argued. You just have to embrace it. You're going to lose hours. You're going to lose subscribers. They're going to pull them away for some reason. It could be a bot, could be spam, whatever. Boom. Then just dust yourself off and move forward. And just keep pushing forward. Thankfully, I'm still under the year, so I can still continue to build hours, banking hours, so that when my hours do start dropping off, thankfully, fortunately, I'll have hours ahead, so I won't be dropping hours so fast that it hurts my hours that much, if that makes sense. But with that said, it is Friday. As far as I know, I have the weekend off from pretty much any priorities, any needs, I think. Time will tell. So hopefully, you guys, what are your plans for the weekend? Does anybody, I mean, I was gonna say, is anybody going anywhere, but people are probably getting back. Oh, okay, Teacher Kelly. Yeah, so I also read somewhere that they said that with once you get monetized, they go out of their way not to try to demonetize you unless you do something wrong, like a copyright strike or something. Because just all the, you know, the work that they put into you when you get there. Oh, Natty, I disagree, and I'll tell you why I disagree. Everybody ready for this? Natty, I'm gonna call you out. I completely disagree, because Okies Eden is already golden. I didn't need to get monetized to be golden. I am golden. I'm just kidding. Anybody that knows me knows I'm kidding. That was a joke. You're bok choy. That's cool. Bok choy. I love bok choy. I'm thinking seriously about, and I know I'm gonna catch flack for this because I just cooked vegetables on screen. And I talk about my garden all the time and my tomatoes that are growing in the back, and I eat fresh herbs. But I am dying for the all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet up the road. Hey, farmer. They also have in that, it's all in one price. You don't have any, no Flow Farm, no plans. I'll harvest a head of cauliflower and some rat. Seriously? Who said that? Oh, Hen House, you're in Florida, right? Paws is here. Paws got in from his 20-mile bike ride, probably. If you guys don't follow Paul's in Planola, check out his channel. He does some cooking. His cooking video is funny, where when he's washing his hands, the way he's talking to people. Yes, I'm gonna wash my hands, people. Yes, I'm gonna wash my hands. Scully, that's a good one. That's probably true. Oh, there's Be Strong like a Grizzly. All right. A lot of people in here. Thank you guys very much for showing up. Um, you wouldn't follow pause at all. That's terrible. That's kind of like what I said the other day. And some people were like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean you're not going to go back to the self checkout?" My statement was on one of the lives. I said, "I'm not using self checkout in Walmart anymore. The guy's a real obnoxious jerk." Oh, hey, Grandma Teresa, I didn't even see you there. We have talking about the self checkout. The yeah, the dad jokes. I was doing some dad jokes last night in some of the lives. I actually got to do a lot of lives last night because I could not sleep. My grandson was sleeping. I just could not fall asleep. So I was on different lives. There was a late live I was on. I forget who it was. It was like midnight. There was a live on, so I jumped on there. The DG store up the road here, they have self checkout. They finally, just last year, they put all the self. They have a self checkout and a regular checkout. And the self checkout was great because boom, you can go in and out and get out of there, you know. And people were doing so much shoplifting that they ended up disconnecting the self checkout. So now they're down to one lane. So if you go in there when it's busy, it's one person checking everybody out. Yeah, Scully's got some big stuff coming out. Scully's gonna he hasn't made the announcement yet, I don't think. But he's gonna be doing some stuff that's gonna be very interesting to see. I don't even know what you just said there, Scully, because I am not a tech savvy person. I literally can push the button on my cell phone. I can do YouTube stuff, but was I there last night at yours? I was bouncing around to quite a few of them, and then I ran them because at one point my grandson got angry, and I just kept it running and put it to the side so I could work with him for the like half an hour. So I don't care. I honestly don't remember who I watched last night. It was a rough night, but got through it. I'm still breathing. I'm on this side of the grass. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Scully's new stuff coming out. Cool. Yeah. You're doing the hydroponics too. Yeah. I'm definitely Farmer Chaz. I'm definitely going to get. I think I'm going to get a second one. I got a little bit of Christmas money, burning a hole in my pocket. I think I'm going to buy another one of those hydroponic units that JC Calamity Jane sent me. I like that unit, so I'm going to get a second one because then that gives me 30. It'll give me 30 cages to plant my sprouts in to get stuff sprouting for the spring because I really want to get after that this year. You have 5 of them? Good golly, Miss Molly. Good for you. That's awesome. They work really well, I'll tell you what. Some stuff I haven't had any luck with. I've tried asparagus 2 or 3 times, the seeds. They will not grow. They just turn to mold. I've tried the hard shell calypso beans, and it wouldn't work. But I mean, you guys have all seen my stuff by now, but like this pepper plant, it's starting at the top here. You can start to see the buds. So I think what I'm going to do is I want to get some stuff built up next year in the other room, like a big L bench, and then I'll put my grow stuff back there because I could really grow a serious garden indoors. So that's really exciting to me because I can have fresh vegetables all year long. Oh, Don't worry about it. Well, Flow Farm. Was it Flow Farm? Like I said, I don't remember. I went on some, and then some. If I stay on for a while, then I. Oh, there you go, on your sun porch. Good idea. Next year, we're supposed to be doing the siding on our house, which I'm actually doing it. So I got to order windows hopefully in the spring, and I'm going to get a couple of the longer windows that are like the Andersons that kick out with a little spinny thingy. Handle is what I'm looking for, the word. Find your words. Yeah, that would be awesome. But I want to have the longer windows, and then I can build some shelving that comes up under the window, because the way my house points, I could get full sun for like 5-6 hours a day there, and I could put all my plants by these long windows. And then if they need more light, I can bump them down to grow lights or something. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get it so my indoor garden produces a lot of stuff in the winter to kind of bolster. So when I have my potatoes and green beans, I can also have fresh salad. But is what I'm trying to do anyways. But who knows, you know? I got, like I've been telling everybody, I'm so old that I knew the Dead Sea when the Dead Sea was just sick. Because I got one foot on a banana peel and one in the grave. That's awesome. And then if I can do this, I'm gonna have to get those people that come out and check for underground lines and stuff, even though I'm in the country. If there's any kind of, because I do have 2 power poles out here. What I would really like to do is I want to get a small excavator, a used one at some point. Me and my son want to go in on it. What I'd really like to do is do one, I can't remember the name of these things, but you dig down into the ground. Yes, you can. I've heard that, yeah. Yep, you can float very easy in the Dead Sea. You can, you dig down and then you build your greenhouse. So basically the roof line goes to the ground, kind of like an A-frame house. And then the rest of the structure's underground. And then you dig this trenching, a long trench, go down, I don't know, 4 feet or so. It's called, what is it, hydro, I'm not gonna get the word. Anyways, then what they do is they run a big flex tube for 100 or 200 feet and just keep winding it through that trench. You just keep winding it. Then you cover it back up. They cover that thing back up. And then you put a fan at one end and a fan at the other, which you can do with solar. And then what that does is, no matter how cold it is outside, you have your indirect sunlight coming in. And then that tubing is 4 feet below ground, which means it's a constant 55 degrees, 55 degrees down there. And so the fans are just pushing that 55 degree air into the greenhouse, and then it's just pulling back in and it's just circulating through there with the hopes that it keeps that whole greenhouse, because it's below ground, it keeps it about 50 degrees inside. So even if it's 20 degrees out in Oklahoma, you can still be growing stuff inside this greenhouse that's approximately 50 degrees. So you could grow potatoes year round. You'd never have to worry about storage. You could just keep growing them down underground. And then the other thing that's nice is even in the summertime, it helps keep air movement going. And then it's not air conditioning, but it keeps it cooler. But anyways, that's just something I could possibly do. Yeah, you built yours on the side of a bank. Yes, you can do that too. I don't know, I have, you know, like they say in Oklahoma, it's so flat you can see the back of your head. That's a saying, and I just never understood that. Oh, really, Scully? Huh. I didn't know that. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Wow. And you've been doing the same content? Because your content is pretty amazing. Hey, Hobo Hideaway. Hobo Hideaway, he was on my list. Either, I think it was yesterday. Was he on New Year's? Was he on January 1st for my watch list thing I do for asking for people to help people with watch hours? But anyways, that is Hobo Hideaway. You have a blue wrench now, Hobo. So if you want to connect with other people here. I've been watching running his playlists. So, Flow Farm, yes, yes, Scully's amazing. Izzy's amazing. What's happened to Izzy was terrible. She's coming back though, trying to regain everything. I hope she's doing well, Scully. Yeah, you're a very good narrator, and you play all those graphics you guys do. I haven't been to your Scully. If you don't mind, would you put your link in here? Scully has written books. You can get Scully's books online, and I meant to check it the other night when they mentioned it. I just didn't get to it. Because I'll write it down right now so I don't forget. And Scully, feel free to put it in the comments later too, but yeah, if you can put your how to get your books or how to have people look at your books, that's fine. Yeah, I know, that was terrible what happened to Izzy's channel. That was just terrible. So hopefully, if you've been here, if you weren't here at the beginning, I'm doing a thing tomorrow, 5 p.m. Saturday. And I'm going to be talking about a couple things that I want this community to work with me on, spitball with me, see if it's a good idea. And then if we kind of come to this conclusion that it's a pretty good idea, then we can put some things in motion, and it'll be a way for us to grow as a community, both individually and then the way we connect to grow and make this a really strong community where we keep getting people monetized, and the base just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a really easy concept. I was going to talk about it tomorrow, so hopefully tomorrow at 5 p.m. if you get a chance. If not, if you can watch it later, I would appreciate it. But really excited about, and I mean this, if you know me, if you knew me in real life, if you've ever sat at my table, I want everybody to get what I got. I want you to get your hours, I want you to get your time, and I'm willing to help with that. I know there's other people here. That's what I want to talk about tomorrow. Let's get people monetized. It's as simple as that. And I get excited when other people get monetized. I think it's great when they say, hey, yeah, I got my 1,000 hours. Dr. Ninja Turtle, JC Calamity Jane, they went over their 1,000 hours. Now their 1,000 subs. Now they're working on hours. That excites me because it's just, because you had a hand in it. We've all had a hand in it. And if anybody's ever been a helpful, they're in life, there's givers, there's takers, right? I guess I was always a giver. There's takers. They just take. And it's all about them. But anybody knows as you get older, maybe, and there's people like this younger, but as you get older, I don't want my kids to get me gifts. I like to watch my grandkids get their gifts and the excitement when they open theirs. I like to see my kids still get excited when we give them something they didn't know they were going to get. It was a surprise. You're able to give them something nice. Approaching 6 months. Yeah, have fun in nature. I was just talking about you guys before, how your channel's really doing well. Like I said, you're going to surpass me in 2 or 3 months. Okies is going to be an afterthought. Okies, have fun in nature. Tiffany and Brian are going to basically make Okies Eden an afterthought in the trash bin of history. And they know I'm kidding. They know I'm kidding. Adventures America, I just got you a blue wrench. But yeah, I'd much rather be I'm at 533 subs, but struggling with watch hours. Need to make more content. Katie's Kitchen, I'll add you to a list. If anybody can watch, can help with Katie's Kitchen. I'll try to get you some watch hours. I'll start watching them myself this week, and I'll add you to a list and a shout out later on this month. And that's just it. When you're on a live, on one of my lives especially, I don't know how other people do it, but if you want to put down there how many hours you need, go for it. I'm cool with that. Happy Chickens, how you doing? Because like I said, the more of us that get monetized and the more that we interact with each other and the more people we can bring into this circle, that helps all of our analytics. Analytics is what's getting you pushed out. Analytics is what gets us out there, gets our stuff out there because there's so much action on our videos and our times and everything. That's what's gonna help you get more push out there in the YouTuberverse, on the interwebs. So yeah, help each other out. And then, you know, but anyways, well, I'm hoping everybody's gonna have a great weekend. There you go. Yeah, Katie's, I mean, yeah, just keep working at it. You'll get there someday. You'll get there someday. You've got your 500. You just need to get your 3,000 for partial monetization. Thank you, Farmer. So I'm going to close this here because everybody knows that if I don't have dinner ready when my wife gets home, I have a lot to answer for. I'm just kidding. I'm hoping she's up to going out and getting some all-you-can-eat Chinese. I'd rather do that. So everybody have a good weekend. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting my channel. I really do appreciate it. You're 80 away from 1,000 subs. I need the watch time hours at 2,300. Entreaty by Rhonda Hendley. Okay, we'll get you there. Later on, anybody that needs watch hours, go to the comments after this. This will go public shortly. Go to the comments and just put WH or something for watch hours so I can get them on a list so I don't miss anybody. Everybody have a great weekend. Hopefully everybody can kick back. Good luck on your endeavor, Scully. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sure a lot of us are. I hope everybody's feeling better. Debbie Sue, if you're there, I'm hoping you're feeling better. And I know Natty wasn't feeling well. Natty, we're hoping you're feeling better. Let's get into the weekend and then just kick back. And hey, while we're at it, my team's the Steelers. Let's all make sure this weekend we watch the Steelers lose to the Ravens. So there, I put it out there. Okay, let's watch the Steelers lose to the Ravens. Anyways, have a great weekend. Thanks for all being here. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night at 5 if you get a chance. It won't take long. I just want to talk for maybe half an hour, get some ideas from everybody. So see you guys later. Talk to you later.